You know, it was an interesting thing that happened at the launch of 3.18. Because 3.18 was unplayable for so many people, myself included, we were kind of forced to go play other games. There are other games that I like. I like Apex Legends. Oh, that's it. That's not really true. I like more than just Apex Legends. I like Valorant. I like Battlefield. I do enjoy Call of Duty. Historically, Halo's fun. I like single player games like Red Dead, and I kind of just came to the realization, Star Citizen ruins you for other games. There's nothing like it experientially, and trying to go from this game to playing something else while waiting for this game to work was educational. The problem with Apex is that you really need a team, and I don't enjoy playing it non-competitively. And so I'm looking around thinking, what am I gonna play? I find nothing. As you guys who've been with the channel for a while know, I've got a lot of content on Battlefield 2042. A while ago, it kind of came to the conclusion with that game, there's just not much else, to do. It's just, after games like Star Citizen, we had arena shooters. We had Quake, we had COD, we had Halo, EF2, like, we had all the stuff, CSGO, and we still have those things in the form of the successors to those franchises. Newer CODs, newer Halos, stuff like Valorant now, Titanfall, Destiny. We have these arena shooters, and they're fun, but then we had Battle Royales, and Battle Royales kind of took over. It's like, oh, we can have an FPS that's more than just shooting, dying, respawning. We can have, a more interesting map. We can have a big map. We can have, a free-for-all with teams. We can add some tactics, some strategy. Like, it's some more chaos and randomness. The loot, everything is more interesting in a battle royale. It's like, that's why content for arena shooters has just dramatically dropped off, right? Like, name a big streamer or a content creator. What do they play? They play battle royales, or some sort of extraction game mode, which is like the next step of battle royale. It's like battle royale, but you keep the stuff that you get. You keep your loot instead of losing it at the end of the match. The highest evolution of that concept that we have today in gaming, and that's Star Citizen. Because, like I always say, it's every game in one game. You can have an arena shooter experience. You can have a gunfight, right? You can go into SPK searching for a criminal. You can have a standoff. You can have a gunfight. It's a battle royale, right? Like, there's no respawns. It's just everybody on the same map, and if you die, you die. It's extraction, right? You keep all the things that you find, and it's also got an economy where you can have a job, a simulator, right? So it's everything all in one. And after you play it, what else are you supposed to play? Like, how do you not get ruined by this? For me, once I experience the next evolution of gaming, you can't ask me to go back and get into the previous evolution of gaming. And again, the only thing that comes close to it for me is a game like Apex, where it is a battle royale, and it's the previous evolution of gaming that you go back to, but it's interesting enough with all of its abilities and team compositions and strats, and the maps are so good, weapons are interesting, the characters are interesting, so many different ways to play the game. And I would also say that, playing just Star Citizen does get old. There's not much to do in this game. That's why I'm just flying around Daymar as I talk about this. And sometimes I do crave just that pure FPS experience. A game where you drop in, you get into the action, and you win or lose. And that's a problem. Star Citizen is a vast and interesting, tantalizing experience, but it's limited in the scope you can play the game. It's a preview, it's a demo, And yeah, I've argued before that it has more content in it than a lot of AAA games today, and that's true. I do believe that, but it's incomplete. Not everybody's going to enjoy all aspects of the game either. And that's what it's supposed to be, right? You're supposed to be able to participate in what you want to participate in within the game, and that's the purpose of having so many different facets to a game. So what are we supposed to do when the limited aspect of the game has been, I don't know what you would say, explored to its fullest extent. Nice. And I get rammed by an NPC. Perfect timing. You know, as much as we like to think that Star Citizen is a quasi-infinite universe and experience, it's really not. You know, it's very finite, in fact. And it'll be probably many years before the game is complete. And even if it is complete, it would still not be interesting to a person 100% of the time. You know, it's impossible for anything to be interesting to a person 100% of the time. Wait, I got the bounty? Wait, did it just award me for the bounty target? I wonder if the bounty rammed me and killed himself at the same time. I'll take it. My point is the same point that's been echoed by many content creators. It's not a complaint, but it is an observation. And my observation is, we seem to be in a gaming dry spell. And I think it's a transition period. I really do. There are good games. Like I said, I love Star Citizen. I love Apex. Valorant's really fun. I'm terrible at it. That's why I don't play it, but it's super cool. There's no denying that Valorant is a good game. There's no denying that Apex Legends is a good game. There's no denying that Star Citizen is extremely interesting. Look at this. People are, let me finish this for them. People are making pyramids out of gowns here. This is really actually amazing. Boom. What an amazing game. As I'm saying this is hilarious. There's no denying that there are good games. But there is also no denying that a lot of the games we typically expect to be good and to satisfy our desire for a gaming experience are trash right now. Like COD. COD is COD is probably one of the worst CODs that I have ever seen come out of Activision. Pretty much the consensus is that this one's trash. And that does happen, you know. Every couple years you have a COD game that's just not very good. The thing is, at least the last time COD was kind of bad, 2019, we had Warzone to fall back on, and Warzone was really interesting, especially at the start, but the direction that they took Warzone ended up being not what people wanted. And I understand that there is a discrepancy between the wants and needs of a content creator versus, no, that's the undersuit, versus the wants and needs of the casual gamer. And I understand that there's a discrepancy between the wants and needs of a competitive gamer versus a casual gamer. That's all well and good. But the fact is that there are lots of games. In fact, all the best games in history have been both extremely competitively, what would you say, competitively sound, and gratifying for the casual to just play every once in a while. Like, think of things like Super Smash, right? That's one of the most competitive games out there, and it's also one of the most casual games out there. Like, it's super fun. Like, a lot of fighting games are like that. It's super fun to play. It's also extremely competitive. Things like Valorant, extremely competitive. Also pretty fun to play. Call of Duty traditionally has been really big in esports. And also probably one of the biggest casual games of all time, probably definitely the biggest FPS casual game of all time. And yet today there is like this unwillingness to have a game that's fun that also has competitive integrity. And I don't understand why those ideas are not mutually exclusive. A lot of times they're just simpler. Games that are simpler can be more competitive. It can also be that games with a higher skill gap and learning curve can be more competitive. Star Citizen dogfighting is very competitive. The mechanics work really well when they work. Like, they are very, very good as a competitive game. The problem with Star Citizen is that there's nowhere to execute that competition, right? That's the kind of detraction from its competitiveness. But for me, a game doesn't have to be super competitive to be fun. You know, there's also story games that are super fun, single player games. I enjoy those too. And one reason that I'm running into this problem as well is I spend more time gaming than just about 99% of everybody else. Gaming is my thing that I do. And you know, we could talk about how unhealthy that is, and of course I do have other hobbies and things that I like to do, but this is the main thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a channel, right? There wouldn't be content for you to watch. The bottom line is, I enjoy it. Oh, what happened to the top box? Oh, it's back. Yes. So a hazard of the job, as you might say, is that I would get bored of games very quickly because I play them for longer than they're intended to be played, and that is true. But I don't think that's the whole story. I've lived through several eras of gaming. I started gaming on a Sega, playing Sonic the Hedgehog, running around collecting, you know, like golden Cheerios, you know. So, you know, the PS original, playing Twisted Metal 2, the N64 playing Mario. What was it? Mario World? Is that the thing? Like the open world Mario game? Like, you know, so I've been here for a while in gaming terms, and I'm just looking around these days thinking, you know, it's one thing to be an old man looking out and saying, you know, they don't make them like they used to. But what if it's true? There are tangible variables that I'm looking at here that you know, see previous part of this conversation that don't happen anymore. All the games that I think are pretty decent in the FPS world, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old at this point, you know, not to mention Star Citizen being just about 10, just over 10. Like, am I missing something? What do you guys play? What is your game that you play? Obviously, if you're watching this, it's probably Star Citizen. But you gotta have something else, right? Maybe I'm just weird in that I can't just play the same game all the time. So the only thing I can think of is that we have completed another gaming cycle. Another era of gaming has come to a close. And I think that's true regardless. And if that's true, then what is the next step in the process? I've already posited this before, saying games like Star Citizen are the next step. Extraction shooters still have not had quite the heyday that they, I think, will have. Right? All of the extraction shooters are alphas or betas, or just not very compelling. See what happens with Dead Drop, I guess. I'd love it if Star Citizen was more consistently exciting. And for me as a content creator, I want to keep it fresh for you guys. I don't want to just, oh hey, here's me doing a bounty again for the 6 millionth time. But I also want to have fun, you know? That's got to be part of it, or else what's the point? We've had really great games in the past. Why did they change? That's the real question. It's like, let's talk about COD. It's not a thing of like, oh, well, we don't want to repeat old things. Literally, that's all they do every single year, is repeat something that they've done 10 times already, somehow worse, you know? Like, they change the things that they shouldn't change and keep the things the same that they shouldn't keep the same, instead of the other way around. I'm just out here, you know? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with gaming. I don't know what's going on with our community at large. I just hope that this is a transition period. And it's not the needing of a break either, because I just took a break. And it's been that before, so I know what that feels like. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. I could be wrong. You could be wrong. We could all be wrong. We could all be right. Who knows? We all have the right to our own opinions. Let's have a discussion in the comments. Join the Discord if you want to be a more tangible part of the community. If you want to have more discussions, you want to play together. Lots of good people in there. And I will see you guys later.